Hi there. Thanks for joining me. This is Brian Hitzelberger. I'm your professor for ART 1101, Summer 2017 online session. This semester I'm trying something out a little bit differently than I have in previous semesters. Previously, I've had an online forum discussion for this course. Each week in the readings, as you can see in the syllabus, there is a discussion forum component. For every week, there is a question or a set of questions that's based off of that week's readings. And each student is asked to respond to that question in the forum. And then later in the week, each student then responds to one of those students' responses or two of those student responses, as the case may be. And this is all outlined in the syllabus and the calendar. This is essentially a way to have a class discussion online in the absence of being all in a classroom. We can't necessarily talk to one another. So we use an online forum in order to do this. I found it to be beneficial, but I think it could be a little more interesting. And this semester, I'd like to try something a little bit different where instead of posting written responses, we actually post videos. So I'm going to be asking everyone to post a video in response to that week's prompt, as opposed to a written response. You can still, when you're responding to each other's posts, you can still post responses to the videos, but your initial post, I would like it to be in the form of a video. You can use whatever kind of technology you need to use. You can use your phone. I'm using the PhotoBooth app on my I have a Mac, so I'm using my PhotoBooth app. This is new to me too, so this is like the third time I've done this. So I'm getting used to it as well. But I think it might be a little bit interesting, and I would like to keep the discussions not necessarily totally casual, but it can take away some of the just intensity and formality of writing that I think sometimes students really, you know, it's not their favorite activity. So for just as a practice, what I'd like to do is actually do one of those little introductory, like, tell me about yourself videos. And I have a series of questions I'd like everybody to answer. And I'd like you to make a short video going down the list and just answering all the questions. There should be an attachment right next to this on the Moodle page of the questions. Take a look at those and kind of keep it open next to your video and just go down the list. So I'll actually do the list myself. My name is Brian Hitzelberger. My major here, I'm not really a student at Piedmont, I'm a professor, but I'm a professor in the art department here at Piedmont College. I mostly teach painting, drawing, and printmaking classes, although I do occasionally, about once a year, teach a lecture course like art appreciation. I also teach Maymesters. I've taken groups of students to Paris and to Spain, and hopefully in May of 2018 I'll be leading a group of students to Rome. So I'm still kind of keeping my fingers crossed on that one. What are you where are you in your program at Piedmont? I've been teaching at Piedmont for 5 years, and this fall will be the beginning of my 6th year. How do I learn best? I'm a doer. I myself, I'm a professor, but I'm also an artist, and I'm a painter, and I make a lot of drawings and works on paper. And I've really always been someone who learns with my hands. So I find that the best way for me to learn is to do something. Like activity-based learning has really been always the best for me. When do you expect to graduate? I graduated from my undergrad in 2005. I got a BA in English Literature and a BFA in Printmaking from Tulane University. And in 2010, I got an MFA in Painting from the University of Georgia. So I've already graduated. I don't plan on going back to school soon, but you never know. Have you taken any other art appreciation courses? I have actually never taken an art appreciation course myself, although I've taught this course more than I've taught any other course I think that I have ever taught. I've actually taught this course at least every year, once if not twice, that I've been teaching at Piedmont. And before Piedmont, I taught at Gainesville State College, which is now the University of North Georgia at Gainesville. I taught many sections of this course there. I also taught at the Art Institute of Atlanta in Decatur, and I taught this course there. And I've taught this course at the University of Georgia as well. So I have not necessarily ever been in your shoes, but I've been in these shoes many times before. What do I want to gain from this class? As a professor, this is really an interesting question for me to answer because I always find that I do learn something every time I teach this course. I think that art, visual art, is a really huge and complicated world. Um, and there are many ways in and many ways to look at it. Um, I always gain a lot of insights from actually teaching this course to students because they bring new insights every time, and I always come away learning something from you all. They say that teaching is really the best way to learn, and I have found that to be true in my case. So I expect to learn a lot from you guys. What do you think of when you hear the term contemporary art? Contemporary art is actually, for me, a way to essentially create a dialogue without language, sometimes using language, but not necessarily restricted to language, about subjects that are relevant to our times, and using mediums in ways that break with history and speak more of the times that we are living in. Contemporary art can be really daunting to a lot of people because we're living in an era at this moment where so many things really don't bear resemblance to what we think of as the art of the past. But one of my goals for this course is to begin to chart a sense of how we actually got to where we are today from where we came from. Art making is a fundamentally human activity, and we in 2017 are as human as we have ever been. We're dealing with different issues, and we're dealing with issues in different ways. And so some of the ways that we are making art about them is changing. And so I think that sometimes those types of I'm kind of rambling. Uh, Contemporary art means a lot of things to me, and maybe I should actually reserve some of my views for when we get to it. Do I have any concerns about this course? If so, what? One of my concerns for you guys is that you will make the mistake of thinking that because this is an online course, it will be easy, or that there will be no effort involved. The reality is we're actually trying to cram a semester's worth of material into 8 weeks. So this is pretty rigorous. I would expect to be checking in every day. I would expect that you're probably putting in about an hour's worth of work every day. It's imperative for your minimum it's a minimum requirement for this course that you stay on top of all the readings and be turning in the assignments in a timely manner. I can't take late work. There's just no time. So I would print out the syllabus and the calendar for the schedule and put them in a place where you're going to see them every day. Really make sure that you have all the deadlines for the assignments noted on your calendars, set alarms on your phones so that you know when things are coming up. The course does essentially follow a schedule. I think pretty quickly you'll fall into the rhythm. Posts are always due on Thursdays. Responses to posts are always due a couple days after that. Papers or written assignments are generally due on Sundays, etc., etc. And we don't really deviate from that schedule throughout the course. At a certain point, probably around week 2, I will be opening up all of the material on Moodle for the rest of the semester so that you can work ahead. And that will allow you, if you're going on vacation or traveling with family or just have something coming up that's going to prevent you from being able to work consistently that week, you can actually work ahead. And that is something that I can actually make available to you. That's one of the benefits of online courses. I know that the summer is a really busy time for a lot of people, so I wanted to actually make that option available to you. Tell me something about you. Last question. Something about me. Well, I'm a professor. I've been teaching art for 11 years now. I've taught in colleges and high schools, elementary schools, community centers, museums, nonprofit centers. I briefly taught in a prison. I've taught in all different contexts to people from all different walks of life. It's really actually been, it's kind of my only ace in the deck. Like I don't realize that I think I could actually apply to any other sort of forms of employment. Before that, I was a barista, so I can either make coffee or teach art. That's what I got. Um, but the other thing that I do is that I actually do make my own work, and I'm really into this video thing. I might actually try and bring you guys into my studio, which is in my house. I'm recording this from my house right now, so maybe when we get into painting or drawing, I'll actually share some of my work or some of the work of my friends. That might be kind of an interesting experience. But yeah, those are the questions. I'm going to post these questions right near this video in the Moodle module. So please have a look at them and share a video telling me about yourself. Thanks so much, guys. I look forward to working with you. And keep watch for more videos from me coming throughout the semester.